Hello viewers, this is Maryann here from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. How are you? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. First of all, I start with gratitude by thanking you all for the various ways that you support the channel in whatever way you can. The beautiful, generous comments, for example, the thank yous, for those that comment in with informational threads that are extremely well researched and sound. Thank you for those as well. The thumbs up, the subscriptions to the channel, it all helps the channel grow, and of course the donations help me to continue to do this work. So thank you very much for the various ways in which you support the channel, and particularly to those that always bring their higher selves to social media. It's what I try to do. I'm not always successful because I'm only human, but I always endeavour to do that. I promised a reading on the nodes of the moon shifting, the true node shifting on the 17th of July from the North Node, Taurus, moving into Aries, and the South Node, currently in Scorpio, moving into Libra. Why am I even doing this reading? Well, it's a huge deal because for evolutionary astrology, for those that can feel energetic shifts in the skies, so to speak, because that's what astrology is. It's the study of the movement of planets, asteroids, and of course the nodes of the moon and the earth. It's a big deal. And so some of you will have already been feeling this shift. If you're like me, I certainly have. Now let me explain broadly what happens and why it's important to us with this nodal shift. So the nodes of the moon, the North Node and the South Node, extremely important in evolutionary astrology. The South Node is where we've come from. It's the knowledge that we've accumulated thus far, whether that be in this life or evolutionary astrologers believe in past lives, the knowledge and the wisdom that we've gained in the past. That's the South Node. The South Node was in Scorpio. So we learnt a lot about what we needed to let go of. The North Node currently is in Taurus. The true node moves on the 17th of July. Taurus, which is a fixed sign, it's determination, it's seeing things through. So the nodes shift every 18 months or so. So this past 18 months has been a period of looking at what we needed to let go of amidst huge changes, and Taurus anchoring us there through this incredible period of change. Now, the nodes, the last time the nodes were in Aries and Libra, because that's where they're moving to, true nodes moving to there on the 17th of July, was about 18 years ago. So look back over the last 18 years and look for, it's not exactly what will happen this time round. It's what were the changes that were occurring 18 years ago? Were you perhaps embarking on a new phase in your life? Had you changed something after a period of longevity? There was a big change that you may have felt or activated, or perhaps you just concentrated on yourself in a way that only, I'm going to say only Aries do, because Aries is all about identity. Aries rules the first house, and it's about new starts, new initiations, and particularly about the self. It's the first house of the zodiac, and it is where everything starts. So you will feel, so that's the North Node moving into Aries. You're going to feel this renewed, or may have already felt it, I know I have, a move toward, I should say, some type of independence from something, because you want to express the essence of who you are. You are remembering perhaps the essence of who you are. And you want to move more into that expression of self. So North Node, you can expect the collective wanting the freedom and the independence to be who they are. And that applies to everyone. No one has a monopoly on anything, do they? Because real freedom is about us expressing who we are. North Node moving into Aries. South Node is coming from Scorpio, transformations, death, rebirth, and of course moving now into Libra. South Node, which is our partnerships, our relationships, our important connections that we have in this earthly life. It's the we, but that's the South Node. So we're letting go of that a little bit. Of course, that'll still be important, the wisdom that we've gained along the way around our partnerships and our relationships. Letting go of that a bit and putting the focus more on the self and initiating newness for the self. So as the zodiac, the nodes will impact differently depending on what sign you are. And this is where we get to this reading. So I'm going to go through the 12 signs. If you know your sun sign, please follow the timestamps, because I am timestamping it, which will mean you can just click on what is relevant to you. Maybe you want to read your own or listen to your own. Maybe you want to listen to your partner's. Maybe you want to listen to your children's. But the way this nodal shift, that's what I'm going to call it, the way this nodal shift will occur will affect us all differently depending on which house of the zodiac, major theme, your north and south node falls in. So we're going to start with Aries. I'll just mark this, 7.08. Your north node, of course, will be in the first house. In the first house. This is your house. So this will particularly impact on my Aries friends. They could be making huge shifts in their lives. The south node, your south node will fall in your 7th house. And of course, the 7th house, as I said, is relationships, partnerships. So you could be finding that some of your partnerships, friendships, workplaces, whatever you've been putting a lot of effort into will change as you contemplate your next stage of your life. You could be letting go of some friendships, but also equally returning to some long-standing partnerships that you may have not been focusing on. But this is all about the new you, and I'm just hearing that this is going to be a particularly good time to how can I describe it? Unburden yourself of any of the past, the burdens of the past that you may have been carrying around. Because this is you in your quintessential freedom-loving self now for the next 18 months. Now, I'm just going to draw 3 cards for each. I've got clarifiers here if needed. Llewellyn Classic Tarot is the first deck. I have the Rider-Waite basically as the second deck, and as the Radiant Rider-Waite for clarifying, for those that follow the decks. And I have a cup of tea because this is settle in, hunker down. This is going to be over an hour type reading as I work through all the signs. So, Aries, this nodal shift, true node shifts on the 17th of July, mean node on the 12th. I'm not going to waste time explaining, just understand the shift is occurring now, either starting to or will have, because I'm going to post this tomorrow, which is, I think, the 12th. In the northern hemisphere, 13th in the southern, and know that the true node, 17th of July, is the date for the true node's shift. All right, Aries, focusing on the self, big themes of a change coming up for you. I'm getting somebody playing the cello. But they've actually paused, so there's a stillness you could be moving into as you seek the clarity for your next move. it's taking some deep thought, I feel. Show me what will occur over the next 18 months as the North Node for Aries in the first house, South in the 7th. Okay, Aries, so we get here a plan that is coming to fruition in time. So this person holds the world in their hands. So you could even be, as I got the impression you were really thinking about a major change. This could even be living for a period of time overseas. There's something around right now. So this is a plan you've had for a long time. Okay. And it could be coming to fruition over the next 18 months. I feel now for you that there's been a lot, I know that it's trite to say there's been a lot of disappointment lately in your life, perhaps over the last 18 months. It's an emotional disappointment. People have let you down. And that indeed could be one of the patterns that you're going to try and change, where you don't allow yourself to take things so much on board, where you actually you say to yourself, this is a big change. Okay, so I'm going to pursue this Ace of Cups, this emotional abundance, if you like. I'm following the path of happiness. So that's where you are at the moment, looking at what you want to jettison and what you want to keep and where you want to go from here. Now, you will have to, I think, modify your plans, the Seven of Pentacles, over the next 18 months. You'll get some of what you want, but not all, because sometimes nostalgia can be a huge motivating factor, and then we do something and it's not as good as what we think it is. There could, for others, also be some money issues with this plan that you want to put into place. I feel, I'm just going to do one more. I feel you're going to do it. There you go, the Fool card. You're going to do it, absolutely. So, big changes, contemplating big changes and new starts for Aries. Let's just pull from my Revealing Light Oracle, which is a spiritual oracle, available, details on my own website. Let's see. Overarching spiritual messages, please, for Aries. Just one card. Okay, so we get here observing and resetting fixed beliefs and moving forward. I think that's what you're doing, particularly if you've got a lot of fixed, we are more than our sun sign. If you've got a lot of fixed planets, signs in your natal chart, fixed signs in your natal chart, then this could be particularly pertinent to you, Taurus, for example, if you've got a lot of Taurus, for those where Taurus is their rising sign. Generally for Aries, because they can be stubborn as well. They like to be the leader, they like to be the initiator, but you're observing there's a spiritual overtone to what you're doing now, and that's exactly what the Fool does. The Fool embarks on a quest, and I feel that you're just looking at what has held you back in the past and resetting some of those patterns that might have caused you to labour under this emotional disappointment rather than this emotional abundance. There's definite changes of location on there for you for some Aries. All right, let's move to Taurus now. Now, this is an interesting one. Taurus, as I said, the nodes are coming from Taurus and moving into Aries. So Taurus, your North Node falls in your 12th house and your South Node in your 6th. Let's take a little bit of a look and unpack that. Taurus, now let me just put in 14... your timestamp, I don't want to forget that. 14, let's just say 14 minutes. So Taurus, the North Node, the 12th house, it's a spiritual house. It's the collective consciousness, subconscious. It's associated with the subconscious. It's also the end of a cycle. So it's like you, with your North Node, your job now, because the North Node is where we need to actualize what we need to in this lifetime. So the North Node is taking what we've learned, and then our job is to bring that wisdom from the past into the new. Now, with the North Node in your 12th house, this is about finishing old cycles, finishing up things that you may have been involved in. If you think back 18 years ago, where were you? This is about new beginnings. Now, South Node in the 6th can be health, ill health, I guess, day-to-day routines, work, self-sacrifice, and service to others. Well, you've learned all about that at a very deep level. There's nothing superficial about what you were learning or what you have been learning. And you are seeing that in greater clarity, because that's what the South Node allows us to do. It allows us to see that collective wisdom that we've built up, the learnings, the notches on our belt. And the North Node, you're going to spend the next 18 months contemplating what you've learned at a very deep spiritual level. All right, let's pull our 3 cards for you. Taurus, North Node in the 12th house and the South Node in the 6th. It's almost like you had to ground yourself in the past, ground yourself, because the 6th house is ruled by Virgo, which is it's the grounding. 12th house is the esoteric, the spiritual, those higher realms, and we bring ourselves down to the ground and ground ourselves through that Virgo energy. So it's probably that you've been learning to do that, and you'll be contemplating ways to do that to prevent whatever it was that happened in the past from happening again, because this is a very deep contemplation you'll be doing over the next 18 months. Okay, Taurus, what's coming up for Taurus, please? Taurus, North Node in the 12th, South in the 6th. Okay, so we get here 2 of Cups. So relationships, it's perhaps where you may have been learning in the past, is all about relationships and how they change, how to manage them. You gained a greater awareness and understanding through that. You found your voice. You are finding your voice. And of course, North Node is coming from your sign. And Scorpio, transformation. So really, you're in this period where you're bringing it all together and finding your voice and taking the steps with this page with a open heart into something new. Now we get the King of Cups, and it's all about emotional wisdom for our Taurians. It's about managing our relationships, learning to speak up more. This is where the nodal shift will impact on you. So let's draw, as I did with Aries, what could be coming up. You're very aware with that 7 of Swords of taking things with I'm just going to say a grain of salt. It's like somebody is who they are, and then in our mind we romanticize who they are, and then we get disappointed. It's like, no, they're human, and they are not out to deceive me. I need to allow that person to go on their own journey, and I need to be true to myself. And that's where I think you're finding your voice. So spiritual messages, please, for Taurians. Spiritual messages for Taurians. 1 card. Okay, so we get here cooperation, absolutely, in your relationships. And this is Libra. Libra energy and Mercury energy. Conflict and resolution are the building blocks of learning. So rather than enter into mortal combat with somebody, you're going to be looking at ways to solve these conflicts. And what is that main way that you're going to do that? And that is through finding your voice, through speaking your truth. What was seen as impossible before is now possible, and you're going to be contemplating that at a very deep level over the next 18 months. Okay, let's move on to Gemini, my Gemini friends, 1932. Let's look at what's happening for you. So Gemini, all about communication, written, spoken, mercurial, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury. a mercurial type of communication. And your North Node is going to be falling in your 11th house and your South Node in the 5th. So Gemini, interesting. Gemini, North Node, the 11th house. The 11th house, of course, is the collective. It is our networks, our friends. It can be also social media, virtual type communities. You could be exploring that. You could be exploring how you communicate with more. Some of you could be tasked with, over the next 18 months, getting messages out to a larger group of people. You might be thinking about that in your work. For Geminis, this could also be a focus on your friends and your networks, valuing them, being at the centre of that communication. You could be writing for the masses, for example, starting a YouTube channel. Pardon me. Lucky I brought my cup of tea with me. South Node in the 5th. What have you been learning? How to have more fun, basically. How to bring more fun into your lives. How to value those around you, your children, for example. How to find joy in life. How to find creative expression. And some of you could be bringing all that to a wider audience, for example. All right, Gemini, what's occurring for Gemini over the next 18 months? North Node 11th, South 5th house. Okay, 5 of Swords in the past. Sabotage, blocks in communication, perhaps being deceived, either you sabotaging yourself or someone else sabotaging you. That's where you are coming from. That's some of the knowledge you have been building up with that South Node in the 5th house is to how to be happy, basically, and happy in your communication. And there we have your energy here, the Ace of Swords, new ways of communicating, clarity in your communication. And the 7 of Cups, you will be faced with, there's always good and bad sides to everything. We shouldn't expect a bed of roses. And really, if we look at what our challenges might be, we've got a better chance of solving them than if we bury our head in the sand. I don't know why I'm saying this, but it's important to you, Gemini. It's about right choices for you. How you communicate, where you communicate, with whom you communicate. It's about those right choices. And one more Knight of Cups. Could be also communication in your inner circle as well as your outer circle. And it's about thinking before you speak, for example, with this quick communication that you do, Gemini. It's about just stepping back a little bit and looking at how you can maybe pepper your words with a little bit of love. Okay, so, and bring a levity and that kind of joyous vibe into your communications instead of, you can be very, very analytical and very, very heavy. But it's about some levity, bringing some levity here. Now, your Revealing Light Oracle card is Way Shower. You are the keeper and the teller of your truth. Confidence in your communication. Need I say it? Of course. All right, that's for Gemini. Let's take a look at Cancer, my Cancerian friends. And your timestamp will be 24. Let's just say 24 for Cancer. Now, interestingly, your North Node is in your 10th house. What is the 10th house? It's all about work. It's all about career. It's all about your public image. These are going to be where your major themes will be over the next 18 months. Your South Node is in the 4th house, which is home, hearth, family, feminine type of the mother, the emotions. The fourth house is your house, Cancer. So this is going to be this nodal shift will be particularly relevant for you because your south node, what I've learned, is in your house, your fourth house. And so this is sort of like supercharged emotional stability. And you're going to bring what you've learnt to your work and to bring it into the public. So this is your emotional wisdom, bringing that into, adding a layer of that into your work. I'm just getting a ringing in my ears. This is important to look at the development of the emotions. You could even be writing something about that emotional wisdom, sort of like the getting of emotional wisdom. Okay, looking at your work less from the logic mind and more from your innate character, which is this deeply held emotional, I'm just going to say virtue. I don't know why I'm going to say that, but that's what I mean. It's like emotions in their purest form, unsullied. Let's see what is coming up for my Cancerian friends. North node, 10th house, south node, 4th. So we have 9 of Cups, a wish coming to, and of course cups are all about emotions. So there's an emotional wish that could come to fruition for you, Cancer. Let's see what's there. Yeah, you could be collaborating with others, the 3 of Pentacles. This could be to build something, build a community, as I said, write something. There's something here, a dearly held dream wish at the emotional level. That could be what you might be doing over the next 18 months. And we get the 6 of Pentacles, as always, giving and receiving help, but also a focus on your money. So the reality is that you're going to start some kind of project that you bring to the public, but there's also a focus on money. And that could be the kicker here, because we get this 3 of Cups, disappointment, but 1 cup remaining. And I think, I'm getting drawn to the cup here. You could find you have a bit of a benefactor there, because we get somebody extending their hand to you to help you bring something to fruition. I love that. I think that's good. It could even be an inheritance or a legacy, or somebody enables you, works with you, collaborates with you to bring this dearly held project to fruition. All right, let's there could be even some publishing that you might be doing over the next 18 months. All right, because I heard publish. Okay. The Oracle. What does the Revealing Light Oracle have as a message for Cancerians? Okay, freedom, breaking out of self-imposed restrictions, finding your voice. That would fit very nicely. And this is Mercury and Gemini. This would fit very, very nicely with what you'll be doing in a public sense. It has to do with communication. Okay, communication and the heart, I'm feeling. All right, now let's move to Leo. 2819 for Leo. Oh, I might just take a bit of a breather here. Okay, Leo, 9th house. Always find these sprays very refreshing and helpful. And, you choose the sprays that work for you, whether that's lavender or bergamot or sage, or a combination of some of those, which is what I've got here. Let's have a look at Leo, our friends Leo. Leo, your North Node will fall in the 9th house of higher education, philosophy, logic, religion, higher knowledge and gathering knowledge. It's education. It is also future oriented. Some Leos will start a course that will bring them more stability in the future. Your South Node is in the 3rd house, which is the house of communication. So you could be learning in some way or doing some kind of study around what you've learnt about communication. You might have discovered, for example, that you're quite good at it in a public kind of a way, you know, customer service or helping the public. You could even do a course that allows you to learn more about communicating with people. Leo, you shine when you do that. Now we get the Queen of Wands here, so I do feel some Leos will have some kind of motivation toward learning over the next 18 months. Show me Leo, please. Cards for Leo. 9th house, 3rd house. So we have Page of Cups. Yeah, surprise. You could have had a radical life change in the past. Could be to do with relationships, love, people coming back into your life. Things went your way. They didn't not go your way in terms of a matter close to your heart. We have here Hermit. So you've been reviewing a lot of what has happened in the past to you, and moving toward, leaving behind a lot and moving toward the new. Now remember, Aries, North Node in Aries is about self and newness. And so that's your overarching theme. And where the nodes fall in your zodiac will embody that overarching theme as well. So it's like thinking about the future. Wow, here's your energy, strength. You really are going to take on something new, and you're so motivated, Leo. Learning about how you communicate, how that influences your life, and then wanting to study that more. And we go the 2 of Cups, motivated by your relationships with others or a love relationship. Some of you could have found love over the last 18 months, but you have high motivation. You're doing a lot of thinking about the future, a lot of thinking. Remembering the overarching theme will be Aries, where to next, the essence of who I am, and the South Node, accumulated wisdom around relationships. Well, you're putting all of that, contemplating that now, and moving forward with a huge plan that may involve learning and communicating. All right, what is the overarching? Now, you know, in relation to those that have left the workforce, are in established long-term partnerships, learning never stops. Learning never stops. And maybe you've been out of learning and you go, okay, I'm going to do that astrology course. I'm actually going to join that community group and learn about something. There's a motivation to bring you back into doing things for yourself in some way. Okay. Now, I do pick one card, but 2 fell out, and it's interesting. The love theme is very important. Unconditional love, the simplicity of loving connection is what you're learning about, and we get the Strength card here, which is very interesting for the next 2 months. And interestingly enough, this is, yes, your card, Leo the Lion. Self-knowledge, self-acceptance and awareness of your value is worth contemplation. And I think this is what you're beginning to contemplate. We can only contemplate that from a well, no, not only. We contemplate it from a vantage of failure and also of success. But the real motivation can come for when our self-esteem is impacted from our successes. It allows us to build on our successes. In some way, I think that's what you'll be doing over the next 18 months as you move into learning new things, new skills, new things. All right, Leo, let's look at Virgo. And of course, Virgo, let me get the timestamp for you, 3408. So Virgo, North Node will fall in your 8th house, which is interesting. And of course, the South Node falls in the 2nd house. Now, Eighth house, now remembering the overarching theme of Aries, you are the essence of who you are, self-actualization, beginning new things, the essence of who you are, identity, the ego, the place where everything starts, and everything finishes and everything starts again. Virgo, North Node in the 8th house is about letting go and bringing things to a close. It's also, it's the house ruled by Scorpio, and so this is transformation. So could be going through a major transformation over the next 18 months, letting go of the old and starting something new. Now, the 8th house is all about our ability to do that, our willingness to do that, and then sometimes when we've got no other choice, and the universe will step in and do it for us. It's also the house of taxes, other people's money, legacies. You could find that a legacy matures over the next 18 months, which allows you to do something you've always wanted to do. South Node being in the second house is where we find our financial themes. Banks, money, investments, and your South Node is there. So you've done a lot of work in your lifetime up to now on securing this area of your life. Now the Virgo in the North Node in the 8th house says, well, how am I going to put this to use? I've done the building, I've done the accumulating. Now, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to change? What do I need to transform? What do I need to bring to an end? And what do I need to begin? All right. So death and rebirth, major themes here, letting go, starting new things. Virgo. Show me Virgo, please. 8th and 2nd. Okay, this wants to come out. 5 of Wands, you could have had a lot of obstacles, challenges, particularly around your relationships. Perhaps what you were clinging on to, that you weren't changing, that you were just in this never-ending loop. And some of it has to do, Virgo, with competition. How you perceive competition, how you... the time that you spend to perhaps be competitive, but that has introduced obstacles and challenges for you. Now, remember, we've got to let go of things in the 8th house. I know all about that. I have Saturn in my 8th house in Capricorn and Jupiter in Aquarius in my 8th house, so I know all about the 8th house. Queen of Cups. Okay, so this is self-care, love for yourself, but also love for others. So your relationships are going to become more calm. I know some Virgos are going to say, thank goodness. They are. You're moving into more emotional fulfillment. And here's your manifestation magician in the future position, or what our potential is. So I've got past, what you're thinking about or actualizing now, and how it might go for you in the future. So we have the Magician card, and then we get Page of Wands. Some of you could even be on the move, relocating, bringing in the new. You're thinking a lot about what you need to let go of. But I can see here, Virgo, that your relationships should be smoother over the next 18 months than they have been. But this is also, this is the beauty of Virgo. They not only think about themselves, but they think about others too. Now, your card just jumped out, and that was meditation. So not only are you going to initiate the new, but you will be manifesting for those around you as well. Meditate, observe your thoughts, let the negative flow away. And here's what Virgo's big lesson: let the negative thoughts flow away and feel your energetic vibration rise. I will pull one more card for you because that kind of just slipped out. But maybe some Virgos need to do more meditation type stuff. Now we get resilience here. Even during the darkest storm, there is illumination within. Be your own guiding light. That's sort of like the Hermit card. Never give up. Never give up. And this is the lessons that you've learned. Virgo doesn't give up as well. They make very, very loyal friends and partners. But you're manifesting the new, not just for yourself over the next 18 months, but for those around you as well. Self-care is important, and love for others, breaking out of this perpetual angsty kind of pattern where you feel that you're not enough and so therefore you have to compete. You're letting that go, or you have the opportunity to let that go over the next 18 months. Now let's change the deck because we're halfway through. I told you we're here for the long haul, not the short haul. Let's change decks now to the Rider-Waite. Have a sip of tea. Oh, maybe turn the heater off. It's quite a nice day where I am here today, which is good. I have cold-induced asthma, so it's always good to see the sun. Okay, Libra, interesting. So yes, the two signs that are particularly going to feel this nodal shift will be Aries and Libra. And Libra doesn't get any bigger than this. The North Node is in your 7th house of relationships. Let me timestamp this, 40 minutes in. And your South Node is in the 1st. So what's happening here? Let's just decipher this a little bit. Let's just back up a bit and see what's happening here for Libra. Libra rules the 7th house. So I'm going to speak overarching theme of Aries, North Node Aries, the self, South Node relationships, what you've learned around partnerships, relationships. Okay, overarching theme. But for you, Libra, your North Node is in the 7th house, your own house. So partnerships, relationships, collaborations, mediations, resolutions, connections with people is going to be supercharged, because not only are you have you learnt about that, about how they impact on you, because your South Node is in your obviously 1st house of identity, the self. So you've learned about how all those groups and networks impact on you, and that's the knowledge that you've built up. You've got to take that now and go back into the big wide world of partnerships, relationships, group collaborations. You've got to go back there. And also open enemies. The 7th house is about open enemies as well. So you've learned about all of this, how this affects me, how I can protect myself in the group setting. And you've learned all that, and you're going back into that environment. This will become increasingly important. Also discernment, letting go. Part of the challenge over the next 18 months will be letting go of those people and places, groups that just don't serve your interest. But you've learned all that. You've learned that. So you'll be choosing partnerships, networks, relationships that actually do bring something to you, as well as you bringing something to them. So interesting. All right, let's pull our 3 cards for Libra. Libra, the nodal shift. North to the 7th, south to the 1st. Okay, north, what we need to bring into actualization, what we need to get cracking on and actualize. The south, the accumulated wisdom of the past, and also past lives. All right. So, Libra, North Node also is about our blueprint, what we're here to do in this lifetime. Interesting, isn't it? All very interesting. Libra, what's happening for Libra over the next 18 months? 3 cards, please, Libra. Okay, so we get here disappointment in the past. Yes, that would fit. 3 cups lost, 1 remaining. You've been quietly figuring this all out, Libra, because you're all about balance and you're all about justice. You've been quietly working on this. Oh, the new and actualizing the new. I love it when I see these 2 cards, because the divine is giving you a new start around your emotions. And as I said, with that theme of relationships, collaborations, groups, partnerships, networks. And then we get the future is moderation, very even balanced energy coming through here. I'm just going to bring this down and take a look at these cards, Libra. So, disappointment in the past as it relates to groups. The divine offering you something. You've got it now. You've firmly grasped it. Something new has been or is being offered. And guess what? This is what you do best, the moderator, the one that comes in and tempers and brings in balance. The fourth card is the King of Wands, and this is an Aries energy, Leo, a fire sign energy, particularly Aries. Wow, first house. You're not going to lose yourself. Here's what's different from the past. You're not going to lose yourself in the partnerships, relationships, groups. You're not losing yourself. You actually are remembering. And there's that first house, south node in the first house, accumulated wisdom coming into the fore. All right, Libra, let's pull you a spiritual oracle. I've definitely felt the nodal shifts. The nodes become extremely potent in what they're designed to do when they start to, in the weeks and months before they do their shift. They begin their shift going in the latter degrees of their transit. All right, let's have a look at what is coming up for Libra, please. You were given an opportunity, absolutely, and love is always hopeful, infinite and divine and worth the climb. So you could also be life force, understanding the past and applying that knowledge to the present can help solve future challenges. You could also be reconnecting with people that you haven't had much to do with in the immediate past. There's just this, you bring that temperance energy or that justice Libra energy to any group environment. So there could be reunions. There's just important work for you to do over the next 18 months as it relates. And you know, the overarching theme being Aries, the self. This is a role you've inhabited before, but this time you're inhabiting it with a lot of self-knowledge about how I don't lose myself, how I keep and retain me, the essence of me. Okay, let's move into Scorpio, 4658. Scorpio. So Scorpio, the North Node will fall in your sixth house of work, routines, health or health issues, how you become more healthy, your day-to-day habits, how you improve those, but also work and service as well. South Node in the 12th. So you may have been in the past contemplating spiritual matters, esoteric matters, very much though moving into the subconscious realms, which is a lot of what Scorpio will do in order to achieve a transformation. But that's in the past. Now you're moving into the practical, the day-to-day work, your career in a way, the work you do in your career, I should say, but also health, improving your health as well. So let's have a look at what's coming up for Scorpio. So a practical 18 months, Scorpio. But you're coming here. You're not chucking out the spiritual knowledge you've gained over the past. You're not chucking that out. It's how you bring this into your work. Okay, because that's what the North and South Node is. South Node, accumulated knowledge. North Node, taking that knowledge and actualizing that in meaningful ways. Okay, Scorpio, what's coming up for Scorpio? So we have here the Hierophant, past, spiritual matters, government, higher knowledge. Then we have the Knight of Swords, facing a truth, and it's coming in really quickly. There could be movement as well in relation to, you could hear something. The Knight of Swords carries that Ace of Swords, facing the truth about the past, and then we get the Four of Swords there. So this is stepping back from, perhaps you've been inclined to overwork in the past. Well, you're going to change that. Perhaps you've neglected the rest that you need. Well, you're going to change that. And you're going to bring in ways to care for yourself, because Scorpio is so intense. You know, with their emotions, they do deep dives. It's the equivalent of, you know, having a deep and meaningful every hour of the day. Well, that's extreme. But you know what I mean. It's like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I want more practicality in my life. And then we get manifestation. Some of you could be manifesting a return to health, is basically what I see over the next 18 months. Let's move into the Revealing Light Oracle for you. Revealing Light Oracle. So some of you could change jobs, for example, over the next 18 months as well. Some of you could be moving back into a job where you're serving the public, because it's about public service as well. But there could be a higher truth that emerges here. There's a lot of change. It's about reconnecting to the essential you, and this is a healthier you want to reconnect to. Show me, Scorpio, please. So we have here resilience, which is what, let me see, Libra got. I think, was it Libra? Whatever sign got this, go back and have a look at it. Resilience, no, it was Virgo. So as we've got the King of Pentacles here, we've got a Virgo energy, or an earth energy, is very relevant to you. Resilience, even during the darkest storm, there is illumination within. Be your own guiding light and never give up. This is about taking the lessons of the past, taking that higher knowledge and moving through that tunnel toward the light. Manifesting twice. Mars energy. My God, what are you manifesting? You create your own abundance when you live through divine connection. So here's the Hierophant, bringing through that knowledge of those esoteric realms that you know so well, Scorpio, of the subconscious mind. You're bringing that through, you're manifesting. You could, for example, also be looking at ways to, visualize abundance, visualize, you could be doing some of that. I just, again, meditate is important. And I think Virgo got that as well. And connections, finding the spark of divinity in ourselves and others. I really feel for you. The North Node in the 6th house is the house that's ruled by Virgo. So there's a great deal of practical interaction you're going to be having with others. So coming out of that isolation, which is where you've come from, because the South Node's been in your sign, and moving into this more practical way of living where self-care is uppermost, caring for your health, retreating away from those that aren't doing you any good, basically, retreating away. And so I think there's a change here for Scorpios, whether that is a change of community, a change of job, you're manifesting something different in the future because you've basically face the truth about something. Okay, Scorpio, Sag. Now we're on to Sagittarius at 53:18. Sagittarius. Your North Node will be in your 5th house. Now this is, I want to have some fun. 5th house, joy, creativity, self-expression. No more hiding away. Sagittarius, you're going to get out and about and back into it. You want to experience the joys of life. You could be moving, given your South Node is in the 11th house, which is the collective, the groups, the networks, could even be social media. You could be moving away from spending a lot of time online through to more creative projects, Sagittarius. And you want to experience the joy when you're doing this. You could be producing projects, creative projects for the collective, for example. In your private life, you do want to get out, go to that party. You know, if you haven't been out for a while, do some travelling. Children are also relevant in the 5th house as well, spending more time with your children and grandchildren. You want to do more of the sweet, you want to have more of the sweetness in life. And that's what you're going to be actualising. And just think back, maybe 18 years ago, what were you doing then? If there was a major change, some Sagittarians could face a major change coming up. Relocating, for example, to somewhere lighter, somewhere where you can have more fun, do more things. Sagittarius is, the quintessential outdoor hiker. Give me my hiking poles and a national park and I'm off. Okay, you could be wanting to get fit as well, I'm feeling, because Aries is also overarching theme. Remember, Aries, first house. Also the physical body. You could be really wanting to get fit, go on a health kick, for example. So let's have a look, Sagittarius, what's coming up for Sagittarius over the next 18 months. So we have here Magician. You've been manifesting something in the past. My goodness, Sagittarius, you absolutely have. The Magician has the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles. You've been manifesting. You've been hard at work manifesting. Okay, now we have the King of Pentacles in the here and now. We get this Virgo business type of energy here. So some of you could be involved with an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, but also practical matters around investments, retirement savings, starting new businesses. It's like I need to be financially stable in order to do certain things. And then we have the Moon card, which is emotions, the soul, the nodes of the moon, something significant's coming up for you. And of course, the moon is rules the 4th house, which is home. So you could have something significant decision to make in relation to your home, Sagittarius. Yes, because something could come through really quickly. One more card because I'm intrigued. Looking at something in another way. What's this decision? What's this decision for Sagittarius? Show me this Moon card. A decision around also, yeah, I knew it. Some of you are actually going to relocate. You've got a decision to make, and this is around relocating, moving out of troubled waters. This can also be about emotions. With the North Node in your 5th house, it's like, be still, those tumultuous emotions. You're robbing me of my happiness. Be still. I want peace and I want to experience, as I said, the sweetness of life. And you can, because you've been manifesting that. So you've got a money injection coming through in order to be able to do what you need to do. Okay, Sagittarius, let's just look at the Revealing Light Oracle card for Sagittarius, please. Revealing Light Oracle for Sag. Okay, we get divine connection. The ending of a major cycle here. When we connect with spirit, life offers an abundance we may not have noticed before. There's your rainbow bridge. This is Venus energy, love of the self, love of others, finishing up a major cycle. You've manifested good foundations, absolutely. The world's your oyster in a way. Okay. All right, yes, you're going to leave behind a lot of the negativity in search of a sweeter more poignant, joyful existence. And you'll find that through creativity, tapping into your own essential creativity, going back to something you may have done 20 years ago. And with that 11th house, perhaps again publishing a project that can be consumed by the many. Okay, because that's what you've been learning about, what the collective needs at this time. Okay, let's move to Capricorn at 5922. And we have here your North Node is in your 4th house of home and hearth and your haven. And your South Node is in your 10th, which is your career. Interesting, because Capricorn does rule the 10th house. It's going to be less important to you. Your career, your work, you strutting out in front or leading for others, less important. Less important, because right now the home and your peace within the home becomes paramount. North Node in 4th, so it's how you express yourself within your home, your family, your most immediate environment. You could have something coming up with a mother or a grandmother. You may be called upon to help them more. And also with the career, it's what you've been learning about. You could have been learning about what people need to hear. If you're in the business of communicating, or you have you influence people in some way, it's around things becoming more intimate, bringing forward more peace. So I just feel like calmer water for Capricorn over the next 18 months. Again, think back to what you were doing 18 years ago. Some of those similar conditions might be there. If you're in a job that's taken all importance, you're just going to put that to one side. Keep going in, but the major theme will be home, heart and family. Heart and family. Capricorn, what's coming up for Capricorn in the next 18 months? So we have here in the past things moving very, very quickly, rapid changes, and we get now slowing it all down, which is what I said, not working so hard, not being so available to so many, but pausing things. This is also sacrificing something perhaps to help another, whether this is a partner or a relative in need. It's like over the next 18 months, this will bring a beautiful peace to you as well. And then we get the 3 of Swords, but a decision needing to be made here. A decision, maybe be careful if you are going to be called upon to look after family. Be careful you don't burn yourself out. I'm going to clarify that 3 of Swords, because that can be could be letting go of grief from the past as well. Let's have a look at this 3 of Swords. Deciding to do that, making that decision. Yeah, a bit like some of the other signs, letting go of the emotional disappointments and embracing the new. You know what you have to let go of, Capricorn. And you're going to do it, because that's Capricornian energy, and you're going to be victorious in doing it as well. This orientation to your home is good for you. Not bad. Staying closer to home, family, hearth, going to become very important to you. Making the decision to not be so career orientated, leaving that on the back burner for a time as you focus on the new. Okay, let's move into Aquarius. Yeah, letting go of the hold that career has on you as well. Aquarius at 1 hour 03 19 seconds. North Node is in the 3rd house of communication, Aquarius, and the South Node is in the 9th. So communication, inner, outer, finding your voice. Your siblings could become extremely important to you. South Node, everything that you've been the learning you've accumulated. as you focus more on how you communicate, but also communicating with your siblings, or how the patterns of communication with how you grew up communicating with your siblings, maybe examining that. Third house can be talking, speaking in public, a job where you have to communicate a lot with others. The South Node, you're going to be put in that position because of what you bring to the table. So show me Aquarius, North Node, third house, South Node. So we have here the Tower in the past, okay? So something huge has occurred there, a restructuring of your plans, a lot of change recently for you. And we get the Lovers, relationships become important, or you're contemplating the value of relationships. For some Aquarians, it's a new relationship, either a reinvention of an existing partnership, loving partnership, or a new partner coming in. And then we get the Four of Swords, retreat, moving. Some of you could be walking away from relationships that bring you no joy and happiness. Time to finish that. Let's see what else is there. Yeah, it's all about relationships here. Moving on from relationships that have caused you grief in the past. There's a major change you're contemplating, Aquarius, is what I'm feeling. Show me this Four of Swords. I'm only clarifying cards that I feel need to be clarified. Show me this Four of Swords, please. Yeah, this is a retreating from those relationships that have caused you angst in the past. This is completely reshaping your environment and your relationships over the next 6 months. You want to do more. You want to do more of you and less of what is good for everybody else. Because you're facing a truth that you need to do what's right for you, because it's become a burden having to do it for everybody else. You're going to communicate your needs a lot more strongly over the next 18 months than you ever have before. And Aquarians are pretty good at that, so watch out. Anyone who tries to take advantage of Aquarius will just fall down a hole. They're not going to allow it. Okay, show me Aquarians have learned how to take care of themselves. They don't need to be subservient or accommodating to anyone if they don't want to be. Okay, so show me Aquarius, spiritual messages for Aquarius. We have foundations. If something is out of balance, go back to the start and start again. Virgo energy. This is sort of like the tower coming tumbling down. You're seeing what foundations need to be strengthened. And resetting fixed beliefs too. This is, I'm feeling, with that third house with the North Node in the third house, this could be childhood patterns, and you're getting illuminated how they have impacted. That's North Node energy. You're going to look at how you've been communicating, what have been the impacts on you in the past from, perhaps being pushed out of the way by a stronger communicator, and you're standing up for yourself, Aquarius. I wouldn't mess with Aquarius over the next 18 months because they'll tell you in no uncertain terms what they need out of a relationship. So let's move to our last sign, Pisces, at 1:07:59 seconds. North Node in the second house, finances. South Node in the 8th. So you could receive an inheritance or a legacy, for example. You could, your main theme over the next 18 months is how to stabilize finances, accumulate new investment streams, new ways of working, new ways of bringing money in. South Node in the 8th house of other people's money. How others may have dictated the tune financially. Not anymore. This is about you, Pisces, standing on your own 2 feet. South Node is transformation. So you've been through this kind of era of transforming your financial life, because just like every other part of our lives, finances are important. And so it's how to build good foundations. What's coming up for Pisces in the next 18 months? Absolutely. Sustainability of your finances. That's where you've been thinking in the past. But we get here the moon here. This is things coming to the surface. Now I'm getting a tickly throat. I've been talking now for over an hour. The moon card. Things coming out. Emotional. You've been emotional. I'm just going to say there's been a lot of emotional turbulence around your finances of late. Perhaps, looking at spending, how you can budget more, but also look at how you can generate wealth more, and you're on the move to do it. So this is an 18 months with that Knight of Wands and that King of Cups, emotional maturity. This is a time where you get going, Pisces, towards stabilizing and building your financial health. Okay? Whatever way you need to do that, you're prepared to do it now. That's where you've been kind of building up and focusing. That's where the transformation is taking place. Perhaps you're someone, Pisces, that never really worried about finances. Well, I don't see you worrying now. I see you getting your Capricornian hat on and going for it to generate wealth for yourself. Show me Pisces, and that's not a bad thing, because Pisces is all about the spiritual realm, that intangible stuff. But now we get Virgo energy, adapting, finding your way. You're adapting to a life more grounded in reality, and part of that is financial health, stability and wealth creation, and breaking out of self-imposed restrictions and finding your voice, communicating, spark of divinity in others, Plutonian energy. You're not going to be put off. You've learned a lot about relationships, pardon me, and people. And I'm sneezing now, so I don't know what all that's about. Maybe some of you have got a cold or some allergies happening at the moment. Your own sensitivity, looking at your own sensitivity, and strengthening yourself as a result, being more practical, being more grounded in reality. And part of that, as I said, is your financial life, and making sure that's taken care of as well. So what do I need to do now? I think for the collective, I'll finish with the collective. And the collective will begin at 1:12:11. Let's have a look at the collective, what we're likely to see for the collective. In the Aries, the nodal shifts from Aries to Libra. What are we likely to see in the collective as the nodes shift from Aries to Libra? What's coming up for the collective as the nodes shift from Aries to Libra for the collective? Movement forward at a rapid pace. That's passion and motivation to see, like we've been sorting a lot out. It is the end of delay. Okay? Aries is ruled by Mars. Actualizing. Movement forward. No more delays. No more delays over the next 18 months. Okay. And I'm feeling that where we've not seen justice, or justice being slow to move, expect the quickening. It's coming. No more pussyfooting around, as they say. No more taking the soft road. We're barreling in, boots and all. Show me Aries for the collective. North node, south node, accumulated wisdom. Disunity is not the way. Unity is the way. Strength. I love it. Gathering the strength. Queen of Wands, motivation. Sagittarian, Aries, Leo energy. The strength to move forward. I love it. Happiness, joy, knowing what's life affirming and knowing what's not. Petty help. Petty help. Anyone who's trying to deceive in any way over the next 18 months, because karma is coming for you. The 9 of Pentacles. We have been just warming up over the last 18 months. With Aries moving into the focus on the individual. Remember, each individual is part of a collective. So the collective is going to be really packing a punch, wanting to go where it needs to go to start the new cycles. Now, sustainability, Knight of Pentacles. We've been learning all about how our society and our world can be more stable. Have we learnt the lessons is the question. Relationships with others and unity is a key here. Wow, we're just so much change at the moment. That's Jupiter in Taurus energy as well. And the inevitable judgment is occurring. As I said, anyone who's doing the wrong thing, they better watch out, because we're making decisions. Have we made the right decision? Will we make the right decision? And we go to plan B. We go to plan B. Plan A didn't work out so well, and now we're contemplating what actions do we need to take to have the harvest. We are moving into a gut knowing. This is what happens when the collective starts to move, starts to actualize. We're all acting on what we've learned, on our intuition, on our need to build something that's so much more stable. And we get temperance, moderation and balance and even-handedness. Okay, we flirted around with the unsustainable. We found out the hard way what wasn't sustainable, and now we are full speed ahead, building things. Unity. Anyone that's not doing the right thing by the collective, watch out. The South Node is in the sign of Libra. Justice will be done. Forget the delays. Expect rapid progress on any area of conflict in the world for the collective that's drawing the collective down. We've done our learning. We know what we need to do. Collaboration, unity, that's the way forward. We know what we need to do to sustain our society and our world, and we're just going to get going over the next 18 months. You could see with Aries a lot of new projects being developed, a lot of big projects that are good for the collective coming online, whether that's climate change, energy projects, in the US, those huge transportation initiatives, all of that, manufacturing the chips, microchips in the US and other places. It's like all of this stuff starts to come online. The new starts to come online. So if you've got one foot in the past, I'd suggest you take it out of the quagmire, because you're going to be left behind. Okay, phew, what a reading. Bye for now. I hope you've enjoyed that special reading looking at all the signs and the nodal shifts. Bye for now.